Hello and welcome. I know you guys have been kind of waiting on me doing more videos and just kind of prove something. Um, this is the Maple Story one that I've been working on for a while. It's about half done. Uh, when you have an actual full-time job, career, it kind of takes up more of your time than when you don't. But I figured, I'm talking about card games, and I talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! Quite a bit. And I figured this is more for people who actually play the game Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm not going to tell you how the game runs, but more or less just kind of show you, the two decks I run and how the decks actually work. So the deck I'm currently running and trying to tweak is a scrap deck. The basic premise of this deck is actually to recycle your creatures and to recycle your deck. They destroy one another and they work off being destroyed. So actually blowing them up is a good thing. There really isn't anything as far as tributes. Everything in here, with like maybe one exception, is about either destruction or synchro summoning. There are currently there are 3 scrap synchros out, a 4th one coming out in the next set. And there are a total of 5 tuner creatures for synchros, but only 3 of them are really useful. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. Okay, maybe 4. I think it just might be the 4. One I wouldn't use myself. You'd probably use it in maybe a different deck. Another one I'm trying to work with, but it's not working that well. So I'll run through what the core cards for this deck are. So let's see. Here's one of the tuners, Scrap Goblin. He's indestructible. However, when he's attacked while face up, at the end of the battle phase, he blows himself up by his effect. Now, him and Scrap Beast both share an ability, where if they're blown up by a Scrap effect, you can take any Scrap creature from a graveyard, put it in hand. You don't know it yet, but he's awesome. And so is this guy, Scrap Chimera. You need 3 of him if you're going to run a Scrap deck. When he's normal summoned, you can special summon a Scrap Tuner from your graveyard, and if you synchro, the synchro has to be a Scrap. And yes, I will be running through, just kind of fishbowling a game of this for you guys. Scrap Storm, basically you target one of your scraps, you send a scrap from your deck to the graveyard, draw a card, then blow up the scrap. Scrap Searcher, if a scrap in play is destroyed that isn't titled Scrap Searcher, you can special summon him from the graveyard. Just, there's a body. And for those of you who are wondering, I've looked up and I haven't found anything as far as missing his timing. If, say, you blow up a Scrap Goblin and its effect goes off, I believe you can stack that effect. There's no missed timing like with Pete and the Dark Clown. Scrapyard, you just put a Scrap Tuner from your deck into your hand. Pretty standard. You're going to want Dandelions for, later on. Scrap Beast is just a 1600 tuner body. He's 4-star, but you need him. You'll see why. Golem, basically once per turn you can special summon any scrap from your graveyard, which is pretty good. You'll want to combo him more than actually tribute summon him out, but if you can, good for you. Scrap Mind Reader's the guy I'm trying to work with. He's kind of a plague spreader zombie for scraps, but he takes resources from the field. So in some aspects, it might be better to run the actual Plague Spreader, but, we're still working with him. The other cards, now I don't have any Scrap Twin Dragons yet, which is, pretty bad. The 2 other cards, this guy you're going to want to get out all the time. He's a 2800, he's 8 stars, doesn't require anything specific. You select a card you have, card your opponent has, blow them both up. Then if he's destroyed by an opponent's card effect, which includes battle, you can special summon any non-synchro scrap from your graveyard. Scrap Twin is the same except he's 9 stars. And you pick 2 of your opponent's cards and bounce them back to their hand, which is really good. The other scrap guy is just a 2700 vanilla body, but he's a 2700 vanilla body. And then kind of what you'd expect in the rest of a synchro deck, you know, for creatures. So I'll step in with a basic game of this, just so you guys can see how a round would go. So this hand actually isn't too bad. It's not. This isn't really the best hand, but you know, again, you'd probably want to set that face down and maybe set Scrap Storm down. Now, if your opponent attacks their turn, he's not destroyed by battle. He wasn't attacked while faced up, so he doesn't blow up by his own effect. That being said, see, we draw. We have Beast. So we'll probably want to activate Scrap Storm on the Goblin. Send a Scrap from the deck to the graveyard, and we'll actually want to send a Beast. So we have a Scrap Beast in our graveyard. We won't bother shuffling. Then we draw a card. Then we blow up the Scrap Goblin, and we can take the Beast into our hands. Now, normally when this happens, if I didn't have a Chimera in hand, you'd want to grab a Chimera. And actually, it wouldn't be a bad idea to grab a Chimera anyway and put it in hand. Now this turn, let's say I play the Beastie. Let's say I swing with that body. And we'll set that, why not? Their turn comes around, they blow him up. Nothing happens. I draw for my turn. Alright, now this is actually a pretty cool hand. You have a couple different options as to how to get out anything that could be in that scrap deck. If I have a twin, or if I had a twin, I could get him out with this hand. And I'll show you both ways. Now first off, let's say I activate Call Haunted, bring back either of these, sacrifice it for Golem. Once per turn, I can bring a scrap from my discard, special summon it. Oh. Now I have 8 stars. I can synchro for the dragon. Now keep in mind, this is face up. Because I sacked the creature that used it, this is still here, just meaningless. So when I bring out that scrap dragon, I can target this card, and I can target another one of their cards for destruction and blow them both up. So that gives me the materials to blow it up, which is actually really cool. Now the other way you could have gotten out Dragon is pretty straightforward, and you'd still have that Call the Haunted face down. Now let's say, let's put that face down. Let's say I go Scrap Chimera, and I put the Beast into play, synchro both of them for Dragon. Activate Call the Haunted, upside down of course. And we'll bring in Goblin. Target another card they control, blow them both up. Now Goblin was just destroyed by a scrap ability, meaning I can take any scrap monster from my discard, put in hand. So we'll take Chimera. And now we have a loop of recycling. Because next turn I can play Chimera, bring out Goblin if I want to bring out Archfiend, or bring out Beast if I want to bring out another dragon. That right there is really how the deck works, straight up.